What's up, guys? Edrone here, and today we're going to go over the aftermath of the Martian 2 crash and check out my new frame. Stay tuned. You may or may not know that last weekend I crashed the Martian 2 pretty severely. Take a look. And that crash was actually pretty brutal. So what happened was, if you look underneath the frame here, you can see right here, the carbon is completely split on the bottom plate. It's split there and on the other side as well. So this whole entire piece right across here is going to be a matter of time before it actually breaks. But you can actually move the arms now. This frame has taken quite a beating. This is the buzzer wire that snapped off as well. So yeah, crashing is all part of the game. But obviously nobody likes crashing, at least I don't. But yeah, she took quite a hit. So I've got to take all the innards, all the guts out of this thing, and we're going to put it in a new frame. This thing still flies, so I might just keep it around for like a beater frame, because it does still fly. I did test it afterwards. But obviously, you know, a couple more hard hits, and this whole entire back section is going to be snapping off. And let me tell you why I think this happened. So I modified the Martian 2 frame from its original design. So instead of mounting the arms on top of the base plate, I actually sandwiched them between this plate here, which is a spacer plate, anti-conductive. They give you one with the Martian 2 to put over put underneath of your PDB, so you don't get any kind of contact with the PDB in the frame. So basically, I just ordered another one of those plates and kind of sandwiched the arms in between those plates. But however, you can see that the frame is just, it's smashed, it's done. If you look inside, you can actually see where the carbon completely separated from itself. Even as I'm kind of going through this drone and looking at things, I got parts just flying out of nowhere. Got bolts coming out. You see this bolt under here just completely snapped off the arm here. So even as we speak, there's parts just flying off. All of this thing took a major beating. I crashed it very, very hard, probably full throttle. Luckily, I didn't damage the camera, and as far as I could tell, none of the internals are damaged. But the frame definitely took the brunt of the crash there. So needless to say, this frame is shot, and I thought to myself, well, go ahead and get another frame, and we're getting ready to go ahead and go over that. Check it out. Let's go ahead and open this package up from Defiance RC. This is my new frame, and actually it was quite hard to locate one of these guys because they are selling out everywhere. Ooh, we got some packing peanuts here. Check that out. So, what should we do? Give it a dump. Alright, let me pull the invoice out here. So, we have our invoice there from Defiance RC. Go ahead and dump the rest of this out. And, oh, there we are, guys. Here it is, right here. The new frame for my freestyle build is going to be the Source 1 by TBS. Now, this is a 5-inch frame, and this is version 0.11. So, we're going to open this up and check it all out. But I want to tell you, why I chose this frame. Get all these peanuts out of the way. Tell you why I chose this frame. Why didn't I buy another Martian 2? And the answer is simple. So the Martian 2, you probably already know, or you might not know, is a clone. So it is a Chinese clone frame of the Alien. Now, clone frames have been popular for quite some time because your high dollar frames, like your Alien frames and your Rotor Riot frames, Those frames can cost anywhere from $100 and up, and they're extremely expensive. Yes, they are way better quality than the Chinese clones, but when you're getting a Chinese clone for $30, you know, $100, another $70 is hard to justify spending, especially when you're just getting into the hobby. So what these big companies have decided to do, Rotor Riot being one of them as well, Team Black Sheep has decided they're going to combat, they're going to fight back against these Chinese clones. They're going to put out a open source freestyle frame that is affordable to the public, that's made out of good quality carbon, and you can sit here and get this for $27 to $30 if you can find it in stock. They're selling out everywhere. But you can take this frame, and it's just your basic freestyle frame, but it's good quality carbon, and you don't have to buy a clone anymore. You can actually get a name brand frame for the same price as a clone, if not cheaper. Now, why are they able to do this? Because it is called open source. So basically, the Source One is the first of its kind. It is an open source collaborative frame project. So this frame is designed to be changed by the droning community, and it will over time. It will continue to keep changing. It empowers the community to integrate the best practices and current trends into a continuously manufactured FPV frame. The price, documentation, and compatibility puts it on track to be the most accessible frame for newcomers and professionals alike. So basically, you can buy this frame right here, and because it's open source, they don't have to charge $100 for this frame. As a matter of fact, they actually want your input on how to make this frame better and continue to keep changing and redesigning it. Let's go ahead and get this package open and take a closer look. And the way I look at it is, why buy a Chinese clone frame when you can get a name brand frame of better quality carbon for cheaper or the same price? Now look at this. I mean, they have gone the extra mile here. They have individually wrapped every single set of pieces. So you have your bottom plate here. Here's your top plate. You got your standoffs here. Your hardware pack. Looks like they give you definitely plenty of extra hardware. Also some spacers for your board. They give you a couple of decent quality battery straps, but probably won't be using this. We'll probably be giving these away later on the channel. But needless to say, they give you straps. 4 individual wrapped arms here. And this is what I like. I like to have 4 independent arms. And the arms are wide enough to hold the ESCs. And here's the camera mounts and the bottom / lock plate. So there's all the pieces you get. We're going to put all this together and take a look at how the frame looks once it's assembled. And then we're going to take the guts out of this Martian 2 frame, and we're going to put all the internals into this new Source One TBS Team Black Sheep Source One frame. First thing we need to do is get all the different size screws in separate piles. There's actually 4 different size screws here. We're going to be starting with the base plate. Look how thick this base plate is. Here's another example of just how much nicer this frame is than the Martian. So this plate right here is actually the base plate of the Martian 2. You can see that. I'm trying to get it in focus. But look at the difference. It's almost double the thickness. Do you see that? So you're getting way thicker of a base plate than in the Martian 2. This thing is going to be able to take a lot more abuse. Looking at the base plate, you can tell this is the rear. It has a little cutout for your FPV antenna, or if you want to run your XT60 down below. And this is the front. Take this piece right here, and this is basically going to sandwich the arms in between the bottom base plate and this thick piece, and that's where the arms are going to mount. We'll go ahead and remove the 4 arms so we can attach them in between the base plate and this top plate right here. Let's take a look and look at the thickness of these arms. See that there? Try to get the focus in. Look at the difference in the arm versus the base plate. These are some really, really thick arms. Compare to the Martian 2. They are the same thickness. However, one is definitely a better carbon. So what needs to happen is the arms need to sit right here on the base plate, like so. Then what we need to do is take this plate here with the flat side facing up. See how that's indented in the carbon, and this is a flat side of the washer. They're built-in threads. That's going to sit right on top. We need to line all of our holes up and run the screws through the bottom up. Now the longest screws are going to go right here in the center for your stack. So what I find to be the easiest way to do this is to go ahead and take your 4 longest screws and push them through. And these holes are super tight here. Go ahead and put your screws through. These are very tight tolerances here. This frame is going to go together extremely tight. See, you have the 4 longest screws here. Then the next longest go on the outside. See that? And now, what we can do is take our arms and get those lined up. You can definitely tell that it was definitely put together with very tight tolerances. Now we're just going to do the same thing with the other 3 arms. Once you have the arms secure, you're going to put this other top plate on that has the washer slash nuts in there that are built in, and you're just going to tighten them all up. And you might find that some of the little tiny threaded inserts may come out a little bit. That's fine. Just keep tightening it, and then they will actually seat themselves back in there. But man, look at that! Look at the rigidity of this thing. I mean, this thing is solid. Look at the thickness of there. This is definitely going to be able to take a lot of abuse. But yep, all the screws go underneath, and you can see you have enough thread left here to go ahead and put your spacers on here for your PDB. Keep it raised up off the carbon. I'm guessing they give you 2 different length screws here for your top plate and your standoffs. I'm going to be using the little bit longer ones because I feel like that would give it a little bit more strength if there's more threads in the actual standoffs. They actually rounded out the carbon for the standoff right there. So nice engineering there. And we're going to go ahead and get these standoffs put on. We'll go ahead and install the top plate, and then this thing will pretty much be together so you can see what it looks like. See, she's starting to come together now. Got the standoffs put on, and man, I like the look of those black standoffs. Man, they look sharp. But you can kind of get a gist of how much space you have for your stack, which for me will be plenty because I'm only running a PDB and the flight controller. The ESCs are going to go on the arms on this particular build because we're just going to swap over all the internals of the Martian onto this frame. Now we'll go ahead and install the top plate and the 2 side camera mounts. Is a perfect fit. These 2 standoffs for the camera just slide right in there, and when we put the top plate on, it's going to hold those in place, and that's where you'll mount your camera. Take a look at the top plate here. I like it has plenty of options for mounting and strapping down. Look at all these cutouts, and there's a nice representation of the thickness. Let's go ahead and compare the thickness of this to the Martian 2, and you can see right there, plain as day, that this is definitely thicker. Put this on top so you can kind of see how much thicker it is than the Martian 2. So you're getting better quality carbon here for cheaper than the actual Martian 2. I actually paid more for the Martian 2 frame than I did for this frame, and you're getting better quality carbon, and it's thicker. See this little notch here? That's the back. So this is going to slide right on here, and what we need to do is line up our tabs for the camera. They should line right up into place. And once we get those lined up, you hear them snap in. Now we'll just install our bolts, and you can see we've got the frame all put together basically. but you can kind of see how much room you have now. You have a ton of room back here for your VTX and your receiver, just like in the Martian frame. But I love the profile of this. I actually really like this. Looks real nice. Let's go ahead and put our top screws in. Here's a side-by-side comparison. The Martian 2 and the TBS Team Black Sheep Source 1 frame. Man, this thing has a much lower profile. It definitely looks like it sits a little bit lower. Oh yeah, definitely. So it's got a lower center of gravity, so that's nice. Standoffs are a little bit shorter than on the Martian 2. Overall, I am very happy with this frame. It is solid. It's got a nice low profile, plenty of mounting options on the top. This frame is awesome. I can't wait to get all this stuff switched over and put this into the TBS Source 1 frame. If you haven't checked it out, check them out on Facebook. This is the Source 1 frame here. Join the revolution. This is awesome. Team Black Sheep here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And in the next upcoming videos, we're going to be swapping over everything on the Martian 2 onto this frame, and we'll take a look at it when it's all said and done. Also, update on the Budget Basher race drone. Yes, I know you guys are excited to see this thing in the air, as am I. I've got a couple more pieces to the puzzle. The receiver, we have to mount that, and we got to get the VTX and the camera and get this thing programmed, and we'll have this bad boy up in the air ready to see this Budget Basher in action. But thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, edrone out.